Hello, I'm Miss Karen at Adams Memorial Library, and thank you for joining me for November's Bake-A-Tale. So Bake-A-Tale is a program where we talk about something to bake, a treat that you can make, and some books that are kind of connected with whatever we're baking, and some crafts to go with them. So for November, a lot of people think of pumpkin pie in November, but if you didn't have time to make pumpkin pie, maybe you could make pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. You could even use those for your Thanksgiving dessert if you wanted to. So that's what the recipe will be. There's actually, here, it's hard to tell, but I had two kinds of pumpkin chocolate chip cookies that I made. And these ones in front are a little flatter. They look more like, they don't rise as much. So they look more like a regular chocolate chip cookie. And these ones in the back are kind of puffier and cakier. The recipe that's in the kit this month will be for the cakier ones because they're a little faster to make. But if you're interested in how to do the other ones, they just take a little longer. You have to chill the dough. But, email the children's department at kids@adamslib.org, and I'd be happy to email you the link to that recipe too. So that will be in your kit this month, the recipe for pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. And there will also be materials to make the crafts for this week, and a picture or a page that has pictures of the books for this week's Bake-A-Tale. So these kits will be in the children's room, so you can come down and pick them up there, or you can call the library, reserve kits, have them ready. We'll have them ready for you to pick up through curbside service, and we have them as long as the supplies last. But if you're not able to come in to get the kits, again, you can email us at kids@adamslib.org, and I would be happy to send you out the recipe and the information about how you can do the crafts at home, even without a kit. But so, we're in fall. So I think of fall, I think of pumpkins. So here is a 3D pumpkin. You can use it as a decoration, or you could make it into a card. You could send somebody a Thanksgiving card if you wanted to, or use it to decorate on your table. So there'll be a pumpkin. And owls, I still think about owls for the fall. So there'll be a couple of, these are actually made from cupcake liners like this. So we'll put a couple of cupcake liners in, so you could do cupcake liner owls. And we'll put a magnet in too, a little magnet strip. So if you want to turn one of them into a magnet, you can just hang them up wherever you'd like. And also for fall, it's time for gnomes. Maybe, kind of. Well, I thought this was a very cute little gnome, and so you can make it into a fall gnome if you'd like. Mine has some leaves and a pumpkin. But the books for this month are also kind of fall related or pumpkin related. This one is called Pumpkin Soup by Helen Cooper. And cat and duck and squirrel all live together, and they all make pumpkin soup every day from the pumpkins that they grow. And it is really great to do the same things until somebody wants to mix it up a little, maybe try something else. But that only works if everybody agrees, and otherwise chaos might ensue. So if you check this book out from the library, you can find out if any chaos ensues. But spoiler, a little bit of chaos does ensue. These two books, Autumn Leaves by Ken Robbins and My Leaf Book by Monica Wellington, are about leaves, and specifically fall leaves. And I like these because both of these mention one of my favorite trees, which is the sassafras, because I just think it's so wild that the sassafras tree has different kinds of leaves on the same tree. So if you're interested in learning more about trees, these would both be good. This one, the Autumn Leaves one, has photographs of trees, and My Leaf Book has drawings, but they will both tell you how to identify trees and what you would need to do if you want to start your own leaf book. And this last one is called To Make, and it was written by Danielle Davis, and the illustrations are by Mags DeRoma. And I've talked about this book before. It talks about when you're making things, you have to gather your materials. It says it on the back. And then you make it, and then sometimes you have to wait. And if you're trying to make something, it would be nice to have, if you're gardening, for example, if you're planting things, maybe it would be nice to have a little gnome to help you out. And when you're joining together with your friends to have a party and celebrate, whether you've been making something to eat, If you've grown something, if you've been making songs or dances or art, it is fun to celebrate with your friends and little inspiring fairies and gnomes too. So if you check any of these books out from the library, you can read them while you're waiting for your pumpkin cookies to bake. And as always, it's more fun to bake with a friend. So make sure that there's an adult there. You'll have to put these in and out of a hot oven. But the recipe is pretty easy. The recipe that I'm including in the kits are for the puffier chocolate chip cookies, like I said. So they're almost like little pumpkin chocolate chip cakes. And I changed the recipe a little bit. It called for 1 cup of sugar, and I put in half white sugar and half brown sugar. And I also added some pumpkin pie spices, a spoonful or a teaspoonful, not a whole spoonful, a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice in addition to the cinnamon. And my cookies look kind of brown because I used some wheat flour in them, but I haven't tried this yet, but I think I might, maybe before Thanksgiving. I read somewhere after I made these that if you add a little bit of orange food coloring to your dough, your cookies will look more orange and they will look maybe a little more like a pumpkin. So if you try that and it works, please let me know. Let me know how it turns out. I would love to hear about how your cookies turn out, whether you like the stories, and I would also like to tell you about our crafts, and then I would love to hear or see what yours look like. To make these 3D pumpkins, the kit will have some orange paper, a little bit of green paper, some yellow cardstock, and a template with ovals on. And there's actually 2 sizes of ovals on here. There's one on one side and smaller ones on the other side. So you can either cut out the bigger oval or you can cut out the smaller ones. The bigger ones, what I use for this. If you would like to make smaller cards, you can use the smaller templates. But the first thing you do is cut out the template, and then you get the orange paper, and you're going to need 8 orange ovals altogether. So you can put them down, trace it. You can, if you want to try to cut out more than one at a time, you can try it that way. If you want to, make sure you're cutting them out very neatly and carefully, you can cut out one at a time, but you will need 8 altogether. And I'm going to show you what to do with these little ovals. So you want all of your ovals to match, to all be the same. So you can put them together, and then if you need to trim them a little bit, you can. If one's sticking out a little bit more than the other, you just trim them so they will all be the same shape. And so when they line up, they will all line up evenly, because that's what you're going to do with them at the end. But before you do that, you will take each of your orange ovals and fold them in half as carefully as you can, so they match up as carefully as you can do it, so it'll be as even as possible. So each orange oval will be folded in half. So once you've got them all folded in half, you will line them up again. And then you're going to start gluing them to one another. So you'll take your first one, you'll put some glue on this side, and then you'll glue another one on top of it. So 2 pieces are going to be glued together, but they're still going to be open in the middle. So here are 2 glued together. Put some glue on the outside, stick another one on top of that. Put some glue on the outside, stick another one on top of that, line them all up, and you'll do that for all 8 folded ovals. And then once you've done that, they will be all attached to each other, but you can still open them up and fan them out. You'll need to take the yellow cardstock and fold that in half. Now take the green paper and make a stem on it. I think my stem might be a little bit big for my pumpkin, so I have a small pumpkin, I have a big stem. That's okay. Pumpkins are all different. But once you've got the stem, you will glue that onto the yellow cardstock while it's still flat and glue it in the center. And then underneath that, you will glue on that pile of folded up pumpkins. When it's like this, you'll put some glue on the end, and you'll glue it on one side. And then you will fold it in half. And then when you open it up, you will take the other side. You're going to glue this first side onto one side of the cardstock and the opposite side to the other side of the cardstock. So each end is going to be glued onto the cardstock, and then when you open it up, it'll fan out like this to make your 3D pumpkin. So yeah, if you wanted to send it to a Thanksgiving card, you could just put Happy Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving greetings to you, and you could give it to somebody. If you're going to mail it, you will probably need a bigger envelope with more postage to do that, but you could just give it to somebody Thanksgiving dinner if you would like. Maybe you even want to decorate, decorate for Thanksgiving dinner with these. You could make one for everybody and put their name on the bottom if you wanted to, and they could be little for everybody's seat to tell them where to sit for Thanksgiving dinner. But to make these, you'll take the cupcake liner, and part with the color is going to be the outside, and then the whiter part will be the inside. So you will carefully, so it doesn't rip, flatten it out as well as you can. Make it as flat as you can, and then you're going to fold the outsides in, and that's what's going to make these wings on the owl. I found it easiest to fold it in half, then again line it up as well as you can, but that kind of gave me something to aim for when I was folding them in. So you'll fold each of the ends in toward the center, and you'll want them to be a little bit closer together at the top and have the wider part at the bottom, so it'll make those arcs like that. So it looks like the wings. So you fold it in on one side, fold it in on the other side. You might have to try a couple of times so it looks even. You can leave a little bit of space in the middle, so then it will look like that. And then you're going to take the top, fold that down, and that's going to be the head. And we'll put a couple of wiggle eyes in. We'll put some yellow paper, might be more cardstock, and you can make a little beak if you'd like. And you can decorate these however you want. Once you've gotten it, decide how big you want your head to be and how big you want your wings to be. You can glue this top part down. You can glue a little beak right in the middle. You can use the wiggle eyes, or you can make your own eyes like that. You can draw feathers on. You can draw other designs. Decorate it however you would like, and that's it. We'll put, as I said, a magnet strip inside. So if you want to make it a magnet and put the magnet on the back and hang it up somewhere, you can do that, or you can just tape them up, or put them on the table, decorate however you would like, hang them on a window, wherever you think, you need a festive owl. And for these gnomes, guess what? They are actually corner bookmarks. Oh, I love them. I hope you love them too, but they fit on the bookmark, the bookmark fits on the page like this. So it's oriented a little bit differently than some of the other ones. But this is how you will make the bookmark part. On this one, it's green. So there'll be some different colored paper, and you can decide which one you want to use to make. It'll essentially be the body of your gnome and the bookmark part that will go on your book. So when you decide what color, you need a square. So you'll have to cut it down into 6-inch square, 5.5-inch square. Just make sure it's even on all the sides. And then once you have your square, you will fold it to make a triangle. And then you will have it so the one point is up and the other 2 points are going out to the side, and the long line is facing you on the bottom. And then you will take this point and bring it up to the top like this. You will take this point, bring it up to the top like that. So each of those met in the center and then makes a diamond shape. So once you've done that, undo it, open them up again. And then you will take the front piece of paper, the one that's going to be closest to you when you have this on the table, and fold it down. Not both of them, because then you won't have the opening to put onto the page. You're going to make a little pouch, little envelope, but you will put one down, And then you will fold the outsides back up to the top, except instead of having them at the top, you're actually going to tuck them in to that little pouch that you just made. So you'll tuck it, you'll fold it up and then tuck the end down. And then you will have a diamond shape, but it will also be a little pouch. So this part kind of looks like a paper hat, but this is what's going to go on your book, like this one. So to make the gnome, you will cut a little bit off each of these to round off all of the corners. And you will turn it so you're going to be working with the square part. So instead of having it look like a diamond, it's going to look like a square. You're still going to need the pouch part to be at the top. Well, I mean, you will have to have it at the top if you want your gnome to be facing up in the book. If you do it the other way, it'll just mean your gnome's upside down. It'll still work as a bookmark. But if you're doing it so your gnome is up in the air, you'll have the pouch part, and then you'll just turn it a little bit. So then the body of the gnome is going to be square. And then you can decide how to decorate it. There'll be a piece of sort of pattern paper in, and you can make that into the hat. You can make your gnome's hat however you would like. And to tell you the truth, the original one from Red Ted Art, where they have all kinds of fabulous corner bookmarks, she actually does it where the hat comes all the way down to meet the beard, and then the nose goes on top. So if you've seen gnomes like that, to be honest with you, they actually, they're a little weird to me. They weird me out a little bit. So I put the hat up a little bit more so I can make a face for mine. You can decide however you want it. You can have your hat come down like this and just have the hat meeting the beard. Or if you're weird like me, you can make a face on it. But you will make the hat out of pattern paper. If you want to decorate the hat, you can make a little flower. You can make some leaves for that. You can make a nose for your gnome. And if the hat's coming all the way down, you would just make the hat a little bit longer instead of cutting as much up. Then there'll be some white paper. Take the white paper and make a beard. If you make a couple of these, you can make beards. You can make it long and pointy. You can make sort of a round beard like this. There'll be a little bit of dark paper. You can make two boots, 2 shoes for your gnome. You can make hands to match the nose. And then if you'd like, you could draw a little pumpkin or some leaves, something for your little gnome to hold. And then you can use it as a bookmark or use it as inspiration. It can be your companion in the kitchen when you're baking your pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. You can use your gnome however you would like. And, you can always use it as a bookmark, coming down to check these books out or any other books out from Adams Memorial Library. And then you will have a perfect bookmark to mark your pages. So friends, thank you very much for joining me. Please come down and get your kits. As I said, we'll have them as long as they last, but you can always email us at kids@adamslib.org and get the information that way. So thank you very much for watching. Please come and get your kits. Please have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you again at Bake a Tale next month. So thanks, everybody. Bye.